I'm so glad you're here listening to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. I'm Genesis, your host and business development expert. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and income while helping others, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to help you sustain your passion.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. Today I'm talking about something that I spend a lot of time helping my clients with because it's one of the hardest things to do as a coach that loves people and loves helping people, and that is narrowing down your coaching niche. Now, I'm going to go back and forth between niche and niche. It's just a thing. Roll with it. And here's why I think it's so hard. Coaches, by nature, want to help people, right? We all got into this industry and into this profession because we care about other people's pain and suffering, and we want to help them reach their goals of removing some of that pain, removing some of that suffering, and becoming someone that can do what's biggest and most important to them, right? We want to help people reach their goals. Now, narrowing down your coaching niche is all about you reaching your goals of making sales, because it's a marketing tactic, it's a brand positioning tactic, and it really helps you be seen as an expert in one specific area, right? Because even though you could help a ton of people with a ton of things, that's really hard to sell. It's kind of like going to Denny's. Nobody goes to Denny's because they have the best burger in town. You go to Denny's because everybody can find something they'll like, and it's just kind of there. It's maybe the only option, or it's the only thing open at midnight or whatever. It's not like people, well, it's not like many people, right? I'm sure there's some, dream about going to Denny's for their amazing burger, right? You wouldn't tell someone that's coming to your town ooh, I know this great spot for you to get a burger. It's Denny's. They're everywhere. They sell everything. Their menu is 50 pages long. Denny's, please don't sue me. This is just my opinion. So the problem there, right, is that you don't want to be a Denny's. You don't want to be someone that is an option, right? You don't want to be marketing yourself as someone that can help anyone with everything, or everything is what you do. And so it's kind of confusing of well, should we go there? It's not going to be great, but should we hire them? Maybe they know a bit about it, but it's not really that compelling to hire you because you're not the expert in anything, and you know a subject, but that doesn't necessarily mean you know me as your client, right? And so the more vague you are in your niche, the more broad you are in what type of coaching you do, using terms like life coaching, right? Or career coaching, and expecting that to connect with your ideal client enough that they would be compelled to pick you over any other life coach or career coach or health coach or whatnot. It's just not going to work. It has to be more specific, because otherwise you'll be one option of 100. And it'll be really hard for people to pick out you over your competition. But the benefit of niching down is that you become the obvious choice. So if I were telling you, oh, you're coming to my town, there's this place downtown that I 1000% would refer you to. It's called Local Cow. It's here in Gresham. They are delicious. They have amazing appetizers, but their burgers are where it's at. It's all about local ground beef. They're really thick. They are so unique. There's one with peanut butter on it, another with a jalapeno jam. They're so good, and you have to try it when you're in town. That is so different than you could get a burger at Denny's. And that's the type of marketing you deserve to have around your services and you, and the impact that you make on your clients' lives. You're not just one of 100 coaches that do the same thing. You do have a specialty and a niche inside of you. You maybe just haven't uncovered it yet. And potentially that's because you're not fully sure that that is the answer to getting more clients. So I hope that this intro about like why you should be narrowing down your coaching niche is helping you see that the benefit is that you are selling yourself appropriately versus selling yourself short by actually picking like, this is what I'm really good at, and owning that and showing up in that coaching niche. You are therefore attracting people that are looking for someone with that specific skill set that you have, but also making it such an obvious choice for them to pick you over someone else. Now, how you actually narrow in on your coaching niche takes a few layers. So let's dive in. So I think about a coaching niche as who you help and what you help them do. So I help new coaches sell their first $1,000 program. Now, that would be one version of my coaching niche, right? Another way I might say that is I help anxious, overthinking new coaches sell their first $1,000 program online, even if they're unsure about their coaching niche. Way more specific, right? I'm talking to an anxious overthinker. I'm talking to someone who's not sure about their coaching niche. They maybe struggle with confidence, but they are here. They have identified that they're a new coach. They want to sell a $1,000 program and they're ready to do it online, but they need help. So getting more specific is always better. I pretty much don't think that you can get too specific in your coaching niche. Like, I would be really surprised if I ever saw someone get too specific in their coaching niche, but I'm now going to start looking for that because that would be a really interesting example to see and dissect on a podcast episode. But when I say who you help do what, here's what I mean by that. So who you help isn't just new coaches, right? In my example, it's not just women in their 30s or men in their 40s or new dads or new moms. It's not just the one broad population that you serve. It's got to be a intrinsic psychological factor that they can connect to and be like, holy shit, that's me. So, for example, that's why I keep anxious overthinkers in my niche statement. And you can see this if you go to like my Instagram, or I think I have it on Facebook too. That is specifically my niche because I am an anxious overthinker. I can completely relate to the feeling of changing your Instagram bio so many times that they limit your ability to change your name because they don't let you change it more than like twice in 2 weeks or whatever, and running into that barrier over and over and over again because you're an anxious overthinker. And so branding yourself and marketing yourself is really hard. That's super specific. That is a psychological demographic that creates connection between me and my ideal clients. New coaches at large, like all new coaches, don't struggle with that. But anxious overthinking new coaches sure as shit do. We're the ones that write amazing content and then pick it over so many times and edit it for days that it ends up being a totally different post than what we started with. And then we scrap it because we're like, wait, this doesn't even sound like me anymore. This is bad. And we don't post it. I can tap into those specific stories and experiences and beliefs that hang up my ideal client because I know so much about them. So when I say who you help, I really want you to think about who they are on a psychological level. So if you're thinking about that you help, that you help new moms, I want you to think about what you help that new mom with. So let's say you are starting with like, I help new moms find their new mom routine while working their full-time job or something like that. Like something about work-life balance as a new mom. So I would think about, okay, what does a new mom who struggles with the idea of finding work-life balance after maternity leave, like they're going back to work and they're struggling with, how do I be the mom I want to be and the employee I've always been that I'm proud of, and like the new mom that loves her career, right? So I'm getting into the psychological factors of like, she views herself as a career woman, but now she also has this new identity of mom, and she's struggling with how to balance all of these new responsibilities. So I'm not just going to say I help new moms. I'm going to say something like, I help career-driven new moms. I help executive new moms. I help new moms that lead at work and at home. I'm going to think about a way that they would read that who they help and be like, oh, that's me. Like ideally, there's 2 or 3 factors in that who you're referencing in your coaching niche statement of like who you help do what. I want you to be so specific that you're cutting out a lot of your general population. So like new moms is a big general population. New coaches, for example, big general population. You should not be the best choice for everyone. And your niche statement should make it clear who you are the best choice for. And it needs to be on a psychological level of like what they're thinking, what they're feeling, who they are, right? Not just like men over 50 plan for retirement. Like, why does a man over 50 that's planning for retirement need a coach? What specifically is that man that's over 50 struggling with? Is it because he is divorced and now he doesn't know that he even wants to retire or what his retirement would look like? Because for 30 years he thought that he was going to retire with his partner, and now that they're not together, he needs to replan his retirement goals and identify what that's going to look like and build courage around that new vision. Like, that's totally different than just like men in their 50s, right? Like planning for retirement. Like, why specifically does your person need you? So in the coaching statement, like who you help do what, the who you help needs to be way more specific than like 2 words, it needs to be personally meaningful to your ideal client and almost to the level of like spookiness, right? Like, how'd you know that? And that's because you did get to know them, right? Like, your marketing is only as good as your knowledge of your ideal client's thoughts, feelings, needs, beliefs, goals, like all of the things that make them tick. If you want to get really good at marketing your coaching so it sells, go do market research with your ideal client. Listen to them. Spend time actually hearing what they say their problem is and how they talk about it. And then become obsessed with it. Literally, just like spend all day thinking about your one ideal client. And at the beginning of my business coaching program, Passion to Paychecks, the first thing that we dive into after looking at who you are is how does who you are map to your ideal client? Like, now that you're clear on like your business values, right? And like who you are and what you want to stand for, we get super obsessed with your ideal client. Like, I ask you, I think it's like 28 questions about your ideal client because I want you digging into everything about them. And ultimately, that's so that everything you add into your coaching program and everything you add into your marketing, you can clearly articulate eloquently why it's necessary for your ideal client. Because that's what gives you the confidence to go out there and say, hey, this is what I do, and this is who I help, and this is why you need me, like, which is marketing, right? And you can't articulate why every piece of your program is put together the way it is if you don't know your ideal client. So it always starts there. So your coaching niche is who you help and what you help them do, right? Who you help do what. So that is the first half, right? So who you help. Now, how to narrow down on the second half of what you help them with, right? So for me, right, anxious overthinking new coaches, develop their first $1,000 program that they can confidently sell online. Let's think about the what isn't the how. Okay, so I'm not talking about that I help you clarify your niche. I'm not talking about that I help you connect your ideal client. I'm not speaking about the clarity on your transformation that your coaching program offers. I'm not talking about mapping out your entire program's outline and all of its materials and actually developing those materials so that you have a ready to sell program. I'm not talking about that we discuss pricing. I'm not talking about that we plan where you'll take your payments or that you get your legal forms figured out in my program, that you build an entire marketing funnel in my program, that we talk about lead magnets, that we talk about sales posts, that we talk about social media marketing. I'm not giving a description of how I work with my clients. I'm not actually even saying that I offer a business coaching program. What I'm saying is the outcome, the what they want to do. So if you're thinking about narrowing down your coaching niche and you've got your person figured out, you know who you want to help, getting clear on what you help them with is really more about what they want. It's not the specifics of how you're helping them get what they want. It's not that you're teaching them all about their body. It's not that you're teaching them about retirement plans. It's not that you're gaining, teaching them confidence skills. It's not that you're giving them career aptitude tests. It's not that you're holding them accountable to doing certain stretches or mapping out their time so they have better time management. It's not the specific things you do with your client. It's what they can do after they work with you. So who you help do what? It's not how you do it. And I think that is one of the biggest oops that I see in coaching niche developments is people will articulate how they're helping their ideal client in their niche. And that is so overwhelming for your ideal client. They don't want to know all the things they're going to have to do. They want to know that you know all the things they have to do. But your job isn't to make them believe that the things you know they have to do is correct. Your marketing should not be trying to convince anyone that you know your shit and that you picked the right tasks for them to have to go through and the correct program activities for them to go through to reach their outcome. Your marketing should be all about them and what they want their life to be like on the other side of working with you. So your coaching niche is all about who you help do what. And I want you to think about that as do what after they work with you. What's the outcome? What's the result? So if you're stuck in the how because you're really focused on I just got this coaching certification or I'm building my coaching program. So I'm really deep in the like what I'm going to have them do and how I'm going to get them there. So you're thinking about like, well, we're going to do 8 coaching calls. We're going to read through this article. We're going to reflect on these things. We're going to blah, 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 right? All the what you do, like the how you're doing it kind of thing, like the really tangible pieces of the journey. I want you to set all of that aside and ask yourself, what is all of that going to amount to? Because if we think about something like building a new muscle, we don't want to hear that to get like the perfect round booty that, you know, Jennifer Lopez has or Kim Kardashian or whatever. I mean, Kim Kardashian's, no, I'm pretty sure you can't get muscle. Like, it's not just muscle workouts. Whatever, right? Like the butt you want. We don't want to hear that means over the next 6 months, you're going to have to do like 100,000 squats and carry, you know, 10 pounds of weight over 6 miles of lunges and do wall sits or whatever, donkey kicks 1,000 times. We don't want to hear all those specifics. We just want to know that we're going to get the butt we want. And then that is the goal we're after. And we want to know that you as the coach can get us there. Because hearing all the things you're going to have to do is super overwhelming. But if you decide that that's what you want, like the outcome and the result is what you want, if that's true, whatever the how is will be worth it. So in your marketing, you're not trying to convince people, hey, these are the things you have to do to get where you want to go. But instead, getting where you want to go is really worth it. Getting that outcome, reaching your goal, that result you're dreaming about is going to change your life. Is going to make you so much happier. It's going to make you feel so much freer. You're going to get out of bed in the morning feeling on top of the world, not like you're down on the dumps and overwhelmed. You're going to know exactly what to do. Like, that is going to be so worth all the stuff you have to do to get there. And don't even worry about that, because I have a plan for you. That is so much easier to say yes to than, okay, you're going to have to do 1,000 crunches, or okay, we're going to have to map your time management and you're going to have to actually change a lot about the way you live right now. Like, people don't buy coaching because they need to learn what tasks they have to complete to get their result. People buy coaching because they want the result and their coach can help them get there. Like, think about a gymnast, right, that's trying to go to the Olympics. They're not thinking, I'm going to hire the coach that knows exactly how many workouts I need to do. And, you know, I'm going to hire this coach that is telling me about all of their workout, like, specifics and how they're going to, you know, hold me accountable to doing it. No, they're going to be thinking about hiring a coach that is telling them, I can get you to the Olympics. Like, that's their goal. That's what they're looking for. And so the coach that's sitting there being like, I'm going to have you swim this much. I'm going to have you run this much. I'm going to have you do all these exercises. Like, that person is not who they're going to hire. Like, that is just not how people make buying decisions. And if you're disagreeing with me, I would love to know more about it. Like, why you disagree. So please, like, message me on social media, because this has been my experience for the 15 years that I have worked in sales. So I realized the other day I think it's over 15 years of experience now, because I started that job in June when I was 14, I think. No, maybe I was 15. I was 15 when I started. 14? Crap, I'm gonna have to look back. Wait, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, no, so I would have been 15. But yeah, so over 15 years of sales experience, because any job where you were talking to someone about a decision they had to make, you were doing sales. And that's all selling is helping people make a decision. And if you're trying to show them like, oh, look at all of these factors, like all of these tasks, all the how I'm going to help you with, like, you're trying to convince them that your methods are what they need to be doing, when that is such an early phase of the customer journey that's why you're not converting to sales. Like, people that are asking the question like, how do I get a butt like J-Lo? And is looking at like the workout specifically, they're not looking for a coach. But eventually, some of those people, they're going to be able to go do their workouts on their own and get a butt like J-Lo all on their own. But there's going to be a chunk of people that look at all of those workouts they have to do and says, oh, never mind, and puts off their dream of having a butt like J-Lo. This is such a weird example, but roll with it. And then in 3 weeks, when they're putting on their swimsuit for the first time to get ready, like that year, to get ready to go swimming, they're going to be like, dang, really wish that I had done all of those workouts that I saw to get a butt like J-Lo. And then they're going to come across a post from a coach that's like, get a butt like J-Lo in 4 weeks by learning exactly what I teach or whatever, right? 4 weeks might be too short, maybe 4 months, or get a butt like J-Lo for the summer, something like that. It's probably how I'd market that. And that person is going to be like, oh my gosh, that's what I want. It's not that they needed to learn, oh, cool, this person's going to make me do all these squats. They're going to like hold me accountable to actually showing up to the gym, and like they're going to tell me what weights to buy, and they're going to help me fit it into my schedule, and they're going to tell me all the details of like how to do it before I buy. No, that person is just thinking about the outcome that they want. And like, if you see this message out there from other business coaches or marketing coaches or me, that's like, stop making your content about you. The how is about you as the coach. That's what they're going to have to do. But to make your content about your ideal client is to remove your thoughts and speak their thoughts and speak to their needs by talking about the butt like J-Lo that they're thinking about getting, right? Or by talking about the confidence that they want to show up online and sell their coaching, or the freedom in retirement that they are craving, or the work-life balance as supermom that lets them be the executive that they have always been and a kick-ass mom. Like, it's focusing on them and their goals and how they see their problem, which is not that they, don't know what to do. It's that they need support to actually do it and hold them accountable to doing it and modify it to them and their needs. And that is what a coach does. A coach is there to, of course, do all of the facts, all the tasks with them and talk through the work and do the mindset work and do the things and, But in the marketing of it, in your coaching niche, in your who I help do what statement, get the how out of there. It really should be super focused on who your person is and how they view their problem. And if you can, figure out how to word what barrier they see as the reason they're not able to get there yet. So you want to add in details about them and the way they see their problem. So what's getting in their way of being supermom? Well, it's being an executive. And what's getting in their way of being that executive? It's that they want to be supermom. So adding in their psychological demographics, like they want to be a coach that sells a bunch, but they're anxious and they overthink. Like, add in something really personal about them to the beginning part of your coaching niche to narrow it down. So who you help, and then do what is all about the result that person wants, the outcome, the lifestyle, the new skills aren't as important as what those skills help them do, what they'll witness in their life and be like, whoa, this is so different than life 6 months ago. So focus on the psychological demographics and add in specifics about what your coaching program helps them be able to do differently. And then wrap all that up, get it nice and neat and tidy. And this is why at the beginning I said, like, there's a lot of layers to it, because after you get it down, then you go through this process of asking, how do I make this more succinct? How do I make this so easy for me to say and so clear that I am getting client after client after client that are saying the same things? Because it eventually will start happening. Like, once you really tap into your coaching niche and you refine it, it's spooky to be on the receiving side of the messages of your ideal clients coming and finding you and saying almost exactly the same things as the person you just onboarded like 2 days ago. And then the next person that is going to hire you in a week. Like, because you got so specific about who your person is, how they view their problem, and what the outcomes will do for them as a result of your coaching, they will find you so much faster. And you will have your ideal client just buying on repeat. Like, there are so many people struggling with the exact same problem that you can help them overcome, that want the lifestyle that you can help them achieve, that think about it and struggle with it the same way. Like, there are plenty of people for you to sustain your business within your very specific coaching niche. Because I know a lot of people, their biggest fear about niching down is, well, there won't be enough people for me to help. What if I niche down too far that I am, there's only 2 people in the world that I could help? First off, there's 7, almost 8, isn't it? I think it might have just crossed 8. I don't know. There's billions of people in the world. If your business sells a coaching program for $1,000 and you're trying to make $100,000 this year, that is 100 people. There are 100 people that you could sell to, that view the problem that they are experiencing exactly the way you would articulate it based on your ideal clients' market research and what you know about them. I really believe that, because there are so many people in the world. And the more specific you are, the easier it is for people to slot in their specifics. So if I say something vague like, oh, well, let's go to this coffee shop, you're thinking of every coffee shop you've ever been to, so it's blurry. But if I say, oh, let's go to that coffee shop with the green awning and the mermaid logo and the drive-through and the really sweet drinks and the pumpkin spice lattes, we all know what I'm talking about. I didn't even say it, but we know what I'm talking about. That's the magic of getting really clear and narrowed down in your coaching niche. You are calling in your exact person without even knowing their name, but it's like you're calling their name out. It's incredible. And that's the level of intimacy I help my clients gain with their ideal clients so that they can have marketing that's that good, that they just get to talk about who they help and what they help them do. And it's so easy for them to create content and create marketing materials and resources and just close sales over and over and over and over and over again. Because just like that coffee shop that I described in the second one, even though they're selling the same thing over and over and over again, look at how many customers they have. Their drive-thrus are always packed, right? There is plenty enough people to sustain your business within your coaching niche. The problem is not that your coaching niche is too narrowed. The problem is that your coaching niche just isn't specific enough. It doesn't have enough psychological demographics in it, and it doesn't have enough about the results and the goals. We can fix that. You can still do exactly what you do, but with better packaging around it, with better marketing around it. I picture like literally a gift, right? Let's say your coaching was able to be put in a box. It's just the wrapping paper and the bows that needs to change. It's not your actual coaching that needs to change, but like your marketing might need to change. And if you don't have your coaching packaged into a neat little box, it's going to be really hard to wrap. So we're going to make sure that your coaching program is fully packaged up so that then we can put the right gift wrap around it and the right bows on it and make it really appealing to the person that you're gifting it to. That's a really fun analogy. I'll have to work on that more. I like it. Okay. I hope this episode was helpful in thinking about how to narrow down your coaching niche. And if you're still wrestling with questions, please let me know. I would be happy to talk through anything related to this topic on another episode. I think there's still something related to like how to translate your current skills into a coaching package that I know some people that follow me on Instagram are asking about. So I'll probably do another episode about that if I get feedback on it in my polls. So on my Instagram stories, I've been asking people like what topics they want to hear about more on this podcast. So if you're not currently following me on Instagram, please do at Genesis_Rose. And if you're not following my stories, please watch them because I will put up polls and get your feedback on what you need to hear about on this podcast that I can offer free education on. So keep me posted if you have questions, and I'll talk to you on social media. But otherwise, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. If this episode helped you gain a bit more clarity, courage, or confidence, please share it with your friends on social media or in a text. It would mean the world to me. Thanks in advance for sharing this episode. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.